Okay, everyone, welcome back. We took a couple of days off there to take care of a subscriber's radio, and we just got it repackaged and sitting and waiting for me to take it down to drop it off at the FedEx location. That won't be until after my colonoscopy, which will be Monday. So we'll take it. It's scheduled for a Tuesday shipment. So we'll be doing that. We're back on this 26X4 RCA radio. We managed getting some of the caps, most all the caps, put back in and connected at least to one side when needed. The other side is going to go on to what's left to go in. I gotta remember to get some rubbers in these holes for the tuner mount before I get blown out here. And I just found something today that hasn't really been on my mind. There is a problem with this audio pot with a volume control. It is open all the way across. Way down at the bottom, when it's fully closed, almost not in off, but fully closed, you get a reading of about 70 ohms. But by the time it hits 80 ohms, it's open. Nothing there. No lights are on. So that might have been a big problem in the beginning. But I didn't think about that. So I'm thinking about it now. So better late than never, I always say. Well, sometimes that's what I always say. So we're going to open it up and take a good look inside and see right there and see if we can do anything with that. And if not, I might have one. This one here has a switch on the back. I got some with switches, but I don't know if they're the thing to use. So we're going to start feeding everything back in here now. We're going to take care of the rest of the crusties in here and getting them hooked up. We already got this back in there. I had a feeling that I might be able to deal with this thing being in there right now, and I can make the interconnects to those. I don't think there's going to be that many interconnects to the, well, more than a couple of interconnects to the oscillator coil. So we'll have to see when those wires will take place of going back in. And then these other ones, we've got these ready to go. We've got these to still do. Let me see. We've got most everything else all cleaned up, ready to go back in. Antenna coil, switch, band switch, the shortwave antenna coil, and the oscillator coil. So we're going to be messing around doing that until I guess sometimes Monday. I got to start drinking my horse piss tomorrow at noon. It says lemon flavored, but I don't think you're going to be able to taste it well with all the chemicals that are in it. So I'm liable to puke all over the place out of one end and crap everything else out of the other. Hopefully not. So anyway, we're going to take care of that right now, and we'll be right back. All right, we got this thing opened up and sprayed some crap in it, and it's working. Let's see if I can twist this thing on. On. There we go. We're on. Let's see if I can hold this thing. Crack a fricky-fracks. I'll just turn it. There we go. Now it's turning. Okay. It's I'm estimating it to be around a half meg. So it works. So I don't have to dive into my cabinet over there and swim for the next week or so, try to find a switch and pot for this thing. So we're going to keep on chugging, so let me get my bearings and we'll be right back. All right. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Welcome back, everybody. It's morning time, 7:30 in the morning, Sunday, the 11th of August, 2024. We started placing the oscillator coil and the band switch in a temporary situation so that we could get the interconnects adjusted in here, get the lengths right, and then get them attached to one or the other, depending on. I think we can get pretty much all the lugs around the oscillator coil. But on the switch down here in the bottom there, and then right down there, those lugs down in the bottom there, essentially the lugs from 1 through 6. If you can see good enough, this lug right here, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those lugs down there on that half of the switch are pretty much locked out. Now we can reach a lot of these on this back wafer, but not on the inner wafer, and those are the ones that we're going to tie off to before we put the switch in. And then we're going to let the tailings come off wherever they are headed to, and we will make those connections after the switch goes in. Remember how I described it. Go deep and then work your way out. So that's what we've been doing. So now we've gotten most all the other stuff. You can see like these here on the end of the down through there, number 9. We're building our way back out. So these ends here are going to be connecting into maybe these ones on the back or the ones at the top, where we can get those later once the components are in and locked in and are not going to come out anymore. We still yet to get the E-caps mounted back in. that will be probably the last thing we do. We've got these little tailings right here that we got to get to. This one here, that one there. Yeah, I'm not really sure how in the hell those women could build these things in a hurried environment. I mean, I'm stutter stepping my way all the way through this thing to try to get it accomplished, and they must have trained a hell of a long time to figure out what's going to go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 20th, 99th, 150th, you know, in the list, so that you could build these things quick. Yeah, my hat, if I wore one, is off to those women. So I'm going to go a little bit further and we'll be back. So hang in there. All right. A little after 9 in the morning on Sunday. Managed to get the switch in. And we're starting to build up the snakes again. So we got it to the point to where we've got all the wafer switch in the front, with the exception of these 3 lugs. Oh, well, actually, this one here is already done. It runs down to here to the the mount on the tuner. So we got just these 2 here that we still got to get. Excuse my frogginess, but I managed to get a buildup of something going today, and it just came on in the last hour, so bear with me. We've got pin 1, 2, 3, 4, or lug, should I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 done on the back wafer. So all we have left to do is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12 on the back wafer. And that's going to come when the oscillator coil goes in. So we're getting to the point now to where we're going to go ahead and get that stuck in there and get the rest of the connections hooked up. Hopefully. So we'll see you in the next segment. Hang in there. Alright, everybody, welcome back. Same day, different time. Still Sunday. We're in the evening, about 6:15 in the evening, the 11th, day before my butt exam. You know what, I think we got it done. I say I think because you know me. I am liable to transpose a couple of slots there, and but knowing from before, it's usually the last few connections, so I mean there's not going to be too much of hunting down, but hopefully I don't have to hunt it down very deep, because we got another bag of snakes. Big snakes this time. Well, no, little snakes, but yeah, we've got it stuffed in there. I decided to take that antenna coil and mount it in there with a screw rather than put these things through like they did and solder them to the case. Yeah, it was no good. So mosquitoes are starting to track me down. So we managed to get all of those things in, finalized and hooked up. Every time I turned around, there was one thing that I forgot to do, another thing I forgot to do, and but I didn't. There wasn't a whole great deal of stuff, but I had to go back and do a double take on some of this stuff because I seen some lugs missing wires, and there was evidence of a wire that was soldered there, so I had to track it down. Here on the schematic, all the yellow highlights are all the wax caps that were replaced. What is that? Yellow, orange. The orange is a highlight for me to flag the location of, on the schematic that is, of the tuner, both sections, oscillator and antenna. The blue areas are where the resistors were changed out because they were seriously out. This green, I think it's green, yeah, that green is just there for me as a memory thing to wonder why in the hell did I turn that green. Well, it was because it was taken apart. It was taken off the switch assembly and set aside for later. I had it ID'd and marked, so there was no chance of really losing it unless I knocked it off the bench, so that it would be a telltale for me to check that and make sure I got it back in there. That is C32. Yeah, that's it right there, a fixed mica. So with everything on the bottom side all looking in place and everything, we got the top. We got it all spiffified. I think it's nearly the same color that it was. We got the labeling back on it, there and there. I still got to get the tuning shaft back in there, and this one here goes to the speaker. I still got to get my field coil wired back through and get it connected up wherever it goes. These here are going to be, these are quick disconnects here and here and here. All these go to the antenna. Here they are on the antenna. That way, before when I had it, you could barely get in there. I had to desolder the antenna backing in order to get in here and do things. At least now, the only thing you would have to take apart, and there's going to be a little extra lead length there, is the RCA, the phono input. So that is taken care of. This is sleeved up. This is going to go upstairs to the push button assembly. This is going to go to the back rack on the coils on the push button assembly. This is all put back in. Boy, I hope I got it right. I really do. So now what I got to do that I noticed here just a moment ago is I still got to get those E-caps in here, and then the only other thing down here to be taken care of is the field coil connections. So and put me a line cord in it. So anyway, that is going to do it for this weekend. Yeah, I've guzzled about a half a gallon of my horse urine, and you know, I've heard stories about. My brother had one about a year ago, and he says, "Man, it's terrible stuff." Well, I wasn't looking forward to that, but I mean, I've eaten dirt when I was a kid, and I, drank myself to almost oblivion. How bad could horse piss be? Well, it says lime flavored, so it didn't look very limey to me, but you could smell it. Once I put the water to it and mixed it, poured it out and took my first glug of it, yeah, it had a little bit of a lime taste to it, but not enough. So, and I'm not mixing it with tap water. I'm mixing it with tap water, but I have a a filter on the cold side for the kitchen sink, and it's got three levels of filtration on it, plus carbon. And then I fill my pitcher, which is about 2 gallons, and it's got a 4-stage filter in it. So, I mean, the water's great. I mean, you wouldn't think it. Even out of the tap, the cold, it's pretty good. I'd rather the cooler stuff and the more filtered stuff, because it lovely taste. So yeah, it is a little limey, and boy, after about a half gallon of that stuff, you be here, and you're planting yourself on the stool about every 20 minutes. So after about an hour and a half or something like that. So I'm rocking it. I know you guys couldn't get much out of this, but I hope you like it. And we're going to come back tomorrow after my scopy, and if I'm up to it, sometime after then, probably around noonage or someplace, we'll have a bite to eat, and we'll come out here and try to get some of this stuff tidied up so we can make a test on this thing. So I'll be looking for that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment or two. Tell me what you think. Even the bad stuff. I'm taking bad stuff. Even the good stuff and the bad stuff. And the not so good and bad stuff. We'll see you later. Thanks, everybody. Oh yeah, one more thing I was going to do before I forgot. The cabinet has been sanded down to bare wood. Except for this area here, that area there, and this area here. This has been a little scruffified here. I managed to, I'm going to try and salvage this and this. so that way it'll save me from having to sand the piss out of this thing. But I sanded the piss out of it everywhere else, even on the sides, around the edges, the base. The base is going to get a little bit more schmoozing because it's going to get that oil rub bronze finish on it, and probably up these edges here. There's a little bit of stuff missing there, but that's going to get filled in. So likewise over here too. I'm going to use some of that wax stuff. I forget what the hell it is, fill stick or something like that, to take care of that. I've got the base for my decals printed so that I could start doing my little hunting peck with the toothpick and the gold ink, so that I can print my decal paper. And some of this here it's got a little stain on it here to darken that these areas up. They're going to get dark, even darker later. This here is he's got that fill stick stuff on it right here and right here, wherever the pock marks are. This is going to be underneath that scutcheon for the buttons, and over here's got some also. So we're going to do that maybe sometime tomorrow, in between the other stuff that we're doing to get caught up. This here is all ready to go. It's ready for some finer stain, pre-stain, and some. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. And the other color, I'm still toying, flipping around with the color schemes on this for the stains. So anyway, I talked enough. We're out of here.